rapid fire book tag. I mean, I'm not the fastest, but I'm going to try. Let's get started. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Zach with Zacks Books, and today I have got for you the rapid fire book tag. I am not the fastest with answers. I tend to think a lot and talk a lot, so this little rapid fire thing might end up being a long fire. That didn't make any sense. I got a few questions that Danielle's going to ask me about some book stuff, which of course that's what I'm all about. And so we're going to get that started and see if we can get it done semi-rapidly, but I talk a lot, so. I will have the questions linked down below. I think there's 23 of them. Without further ado, let's get started.
All right, question number 1. Ebook or physical book?
Physical. I can't, yeah, staring at a screen sucks. I mean, well, reading off a screen sucks. I prefer having some physical bookage and like listening to it on audio or physically reading it, of course, but ebook, no.
Okay, question number 2. Paperback or hardcover?
See, this is where I'm torn. I've got plenty of both, but I just like the hardcover because it just looks sexier. Like some paperbacks, like yeah, they look pretty juicy, but like those hardcovers, they look nice.
Okay, question 3. Online or in-store book shopping?
I have to do in-store because I've had issues where I order a book online and I think I'm getting one cover and I get a different cover. And that's like, there's nothing like more depressing being a booktuber than like ordering a book online thinking you're getting one cover and you just get something completely different. Like, yeah, it's the same book, but like, it's not what I fucking ordered. I didn't want this. So yeah, physical shopping is the best way to go for me.
Question number 4. Trilogies or series?
I have read both types. I will say it kind of depends on the length of the series, because I know there is a book series where there's like 20-something books in the series. I don't know what the series is called, but I have got no intention of reading 27 books in one series. The Gunslinger series was probably my favorite like thing to read, like in total. I did read the Hunger Games trilogy, but then she came out with the 4th one, so I guess that kind of became a series. So I'm more of like a duology kind of person. I like a first book and a sequel, like The Shining, Doctor Sleep, The Outsider, If It Bleeds, like stuff like that. I'm like more like that. But I will say the Gunslinger series was probably my favorite overall, like duology, trilogy, like plus thing to read was definitely the Dark Tower series for sure. So I would say series.
Okay, question 5. Heroes or villains?
Oh, Jack Torrance, you son of a bitch. I would have to say villains. As much as I like thinking like, yeah, hero, that's what you want. But like, really though, some of the times the villains have got better
storylines.
Yeah, the storylines for villains sometimes are better. Pennywise the Clown, yeah, he's a villain, but like he's also a badass. So, but yeah, I would say villains. Just Jack Torrance is just pretty much my answer for that. That, you know, I don't need any more explanation. Guy's pretty cool in my opinion.
All right, question 6. A book you want everyone to read?
Any of the ones where I'm going to have to show you a book, I'm going to do a king and a non-king, just because that seems fair. So a book I want everyone to read that is non-king is My Best Friend's Exorcism. I've talked about this book a lot, and it is a really, really solid book. I want to say it's probably my top favorite book that's not Stephen King. It's like at least in the top 2. I think we talked about this in my top horror book recommendations, which we'll have that linked up here somewhere. But yeah, if you want to know more about it, you could also look at my Goodreads. I did a review on that. We'll have that posted down below, my Goodreads. But yeah, really solid book, really good, really creepy. Give it 5 stars. So I really recommend this one. And then if we're talking King, there are tons of options that I have for this. A lot. But the one that I would say is the most complete 100% story is going to be It. Yes, this is the second longest book that I have read and the second biggest book that he has written, only following The Stand. But It is just such a perfect book. For sure got 5 stars for me. This is in my top 5 Stephen King books, which that's another video we have, and that will be posted up here as well. Go check that out. But it's the perfect book for me. It is long, and the audiobook is literally like the length of a day, but it's well worth it, in my opinion. Very well worth it. So, if we're talking King, It is my highest rated book that I would recommend from him. 5 stars.
Number 7, recommend an underrated book.
Underrated, again, I'm going to have a king and a non-king. Underrated king, I would say, is going to be Desperation, actually. I know I talk a lot about Christine, which that's a top one too, but Desperation, I don't really hear anybody really talk about this one a lot. And this got, I want to say it was like 4.5, maybe 4 stars. Check out Goodreads again. But it's a really good book, which is funny because The Regulators is in my least favorite 5. It's in like not that good of a book for me. However, when I do reads, I'm going to reread this and Regulators pretty much back to back with each other. So that way it'll make a little more sense. Because I just read Regulators, didn't read Desperation, and I read Regulators a long time ago. And so it didn't make sense to me. I didn't really care much for it. But now that I read Desperation, it hopefully makes more sense. So, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Desperation. This book was really solid. It's pretty long too. Obviously not as long as It, but a really good book. And I highly recommend it. So, underrated King, Desperation, 1000%. Highly recommend it. If I'm doing a non-King underrated, I would say The Sleep Experiment, Jeremy Bates. This is also in the same video as My Best Friend's Exorcism, top horror book recommendations. This one was out of nowhere, to be honest with you. I bought this on a whim on Amazon and was just like, okay, cool, let's give it a read. It's World's Scariest Legends Book 2. There's a couple of them in this series, and there's World's Scariest Places by him. This is the only one I've read so far. But The Sleep Experiment is highly underrated. I feel like not a lot of people talk about this book, if like anyone talks about it at all, to be honest with you. But really good book. I highly recommend it. Sleep Experiment, Jeremy Bates.
Question 8, the last book you bought.
The last non-King book I bought was The Amityville Horror. This is an updated paperback version of it. I have an older Signet. I don't know if it's a Signet or not, but it's an older paperback version, and I knew I had to get something updated. And this is the one I got. I think we got it online. Really good book, too. In terms of King, his newest one that came out, not The Institute in paperback, but Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption, short story. Pretty thin. This is in different seasons. But yeah, really good book. Really highly recommend it. But yeah, this is the newest King book to add to my collection.
Question 9. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark?
Weirdest thing I've used as a bookmark.
I feel like you just literally use bookmarks.
I pretty much only use bookmarks. What did I use? No, I used, what was it? I have it in that jar. And
you
I've
used like Kleenex.
Yeah, I've also used the Kleenex. I've used part of a paper towel. I've used Post-it notes. I have nothing really like oddly outstanding.
Alright, question 10. Used books, yes or no?
Yes, depending on the condition. I would prefer not to get a used book that's been written all over or annotated or anything like that because it kind of ruins it for me. But I'm fine with used books. I go to half-price books all the time.
Okay, question 11. Top 3 favorite genres?
Well, horror, for sure. Thriller, I've been getting into those. Wife's got me kind of reading some thrillers. The other one, I would say, the third one's kind of up in the air. It's sci-fi. I wouldn't say crime necessarily, but some of the thrillers I've read have had some like crime stuff with it. I'd say mainly sci-fi would probably be the third category for me.
Okay, question 12. Borrow or buy?
I'd rather buy a book. I mean, I'm personally not a library person. I mean, I will get a book from a library if I need to, but I prefer physically owning a copy because we have a library and gotta have books to fill it. Duh.
Question 13. Characters or plot?
I would say characters, just because some plots are kind of annoying and like don't really make a whole lot of sense.
I like more character-driven books too.
Yeah, characters are what makes the book.
Okay, question 14. Long books or short books?
I can handle a long book. I've read The Stand and It. We don't talk about insomnia though. But I have read The Stand and It before, so I'm not really highly intimidated with longer books. Do I stray away from them sometimes? Yeah, if I want to. If I don't feel like reading a big one. Read Desperation, that was like 800, 700 pages. But yeah. And I'm currently in the process of doing a short story video. So, I mean, I'm fans with both of them. I don't really care. Got no preference. Both of them work with me.
Number 15. Long or short chapters?
As long as there's chapters. That is what I will say with that. Don't care if they're long, don't care if they're short. I've got some books that are not chaptered at all. Alright, we might be at a different angle right now. That's because our battery died on the camera, unfortunately. I think we left off on question 15, longer or shorter chapters. And like I said, it doesn't matter to me as long as there's chapters. I know some books, there are no chapters. The one exception I will have is Cujo, because that was a really, really good book. But yeah, as long as there's chapters, I don't care if it's 50 pages or 5 pages. I just need some form of break.
Okay, question 16. Name the first 3 books you can think of.
The Shining, Misery, and Cujo.
Okay. Question 17. Books that made you laugh or cry.
I mean, if you saw my Dark Tower reading vlog of book 7, I have it up here. There were some upsetting things in that book. I didn't necessarily cry, but I was pretty upset, and Danielle can agree with that, because every time something happened, I looked over, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm like getting upset now. Laugh? I don't know. I don't know if I've
You don't
ever...
read funny books. You read horror.
Yeah, I don't really read any books that are like meant to be funny. I don't know. Maybe there might have been a wisecrack joke in some Stephen King book that I might have chuckled at, but nothing that made me fall on like, oh!
Question 18. Our world or fictional worlds?
Fictional. I mean, that's just an obvious question. I mean, if I could bring some of the stuff from our world to a fictional world, like phones, food, crap like that, yes, then, yeah, fictional is 100% the winner. Our world is not good at the moment. Like, the disease that's going around right now, that's not cool. So I would say fictional. COVID sucks, so.
Okay, question 19. Audiobooks, yes or no?
Yas. 100% yes. If I'm busy and I can read a book by just listening to it, I'm all for it. Because guess what? That's a book I get to read and I just have to listen to it.
Okay, question 20. Do you ever judge a book by its cover?
Sometimes I do. Yeah, I mean, because that's the question. So yes, I sometimes will judge a book by its cover. Once I judge it, and I eventually read the back of it, but that's not the question. So yes, I do judge a book by its cover sometimes.
Okay, question 21. Book to movie or book to TV adaptation?
Or book to... I mean, obviously my favorite movie of all time is The Shining. My wife sighs because she knows I'm not going to shut up now for the next 5 minutes. No, it's rapid fire. I got to be quick. The Shining, I would say, is my favorite movie adaptation. I don't really have a TV series adaptation that I'm really dying over. So I would say The Shining movie adaptation. A lot of people really hate it, but I'm a fan.
Okay, 22. A movie or TV show you preferred to its book.
That's a tough one. Because The Shining book and movie were both really good. So I can't pick that. They were both good. Doctor Sleep and the book and movie were both really good. Wow, this is a harder question than expected. I'm really not doing this rapid fire thing pretty well. Oh shoot, what's it called? I can't think of the name of it. The Amityville Horror, the book was way better than the movie. Amityville Horror, the book was a lot better than the movies were. Any of the 5 movies, even though the book's only off of the first one. But
that's not the question. The question is a movie or TV show you liked more than the book.
Oh, cool. So I just wasted a minute explaining that. Normally King's my go-to. I can't think of a King movie that was better than the book. I mean, yeah, I want to say It. Cujo was good. Oh my god. I can't... Can we do 23? We'll come back to it.
Alright.
I need to ponder upon it.
Question 23. Series or standalones?
Okay, books. I mean... Oh, that's a tough one. Dark Tower series, phenomenal. It, a standalone, phenomenal. It's another tough question. These last two are the hardest questions you've asked. Definitely can't be rapid with it. I would say standalone, just because there's been a lot more solid standalones that I've read than series or trilogies. But yeah, there are some standalones where, it's I would love to see a sequel or something like that. It, I would love to see a sequel. Somehow make something happen. They didn't actually kill it or something like that. But yeah, I would say standalones. Alright, back to question 22. I pondered it a little bit more. But movie better than the book, I am going to have to say The Shawshank Redemption. Yes, that got 5 stars for me as a book, but it gets 20 stars as a movie. It's just a really good movie. It's flippin' awesome. Alright guys, there you have it. That was my not so rapid fire book tag. I kind of talked for a while, but that was the rapid fire book tag. Let me know some of the answers you have for some of the questions down below. Don't forget to comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video. Later.